Hello and welcome back to the Deep 2 NBA podcast. I'm your host, Lukas Theis. Joining me this week is the one and only Sementriadis, Mr. Sementriadis man. How are you?
Hello, how are you? Thank you for having me on.
Thanks for coming on, bro. I feel like we've been talking about basketball for 4 years now.
Yeah, we're just like late nights sending each other random NBA players from like 2006 to 2014. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah, which you are proficient in.
Yeah, proficient.
Also,
definitely.
Word of the day for anyone who's
Episode name.
I think that was born from an Instagram post being like, who's the most random person you can think about? Yeah. And then people would say like Josh Smith is like fucking
I know.
4-time All-Star.
Yeah, the All-Star and like borderline China champion. He's so good.
Yeah, and then you'd be coming at us with like fucking Fabrizio Alberto, Chucky Atkins,
Aaron Gray from the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah,
so good.
Yeah, so I think that was a good starting point. But you're one of the few actual Dallas Mavericks fans I know.
I mean, it's a hard run, especially this last couple of months. But yeah, it's strange. In my friendship circle, we have 3 Dallas Mavericks fans.
Oh, wow.
I assume that we all fell in love with Dallas when we were in high school with Dirk and Jason Kidd. But yeah, it is odd to have many Dallas fans in one small friendship circle.
Yeah, you might be the first feature of a full-time Dallas fan on the pod.
Represent.
Yeah, represent. So is that's were you into the NBA before that?
Well, I think the inception of me liking the NBA was essentially just borrowing video games from like Video Easy, I think, from Templestowe. So I would borrow...
Hang on. Video Easy Templestowe, was there a Blockbuster in the area as well?
I don't think there was a Blockbuster, unfortunately. Okay. I think there was a Blockbuster in Doncaster, the neighbouring suburb, but Video Easy ruled. On James Street, I would go to Video Easy every Friday night, and Mum would let me borrow whatever game.
Yeah, okay.
And at that time, it was NBA Live 09. And I just fell in love with basketball and like the whole FIBA presence and playing for Australia and playing for Greece. I just really fell in love with basketball then.
You could do that in Live 09.
Yeah, you could play.
You could play with Oz.
Yeah, you could play FIBA.
No
yeah,
shit.
It's unreal.
Wow.
Yeah, so they've got Patty Mills when he's like 72 overall. Yeah, it's unreal. Yeah. It's so good.
They introduced that in like 2K18 as like, this is the big feature.
Yeah,
and I swear they took it away.
NBA Live rocks. Yeah. I guess they just get lazier and they just want more money in VC with basketball games. But back then it was a lot of fun.
Do you still play like the modern 2Ks? For anyone that's not in the room right now, which is just me and James, we've got Phoenix Suns versus San Antonio Spurs playing on NBA 2K. Which one?
NBA Live 08.
Oh,
so
NBA
it's
Live
even
08.
earlier.
So this predates your basketball fandom.
Yeah.
Currently, Marcus Banks is running floppy.
And getting swatted into the first row.
By, was that Nando DeColo?
I don't know.
Okay, because if it wasn't, it
might be Brent Barry.
Oh, that was Brent Barry. Okay, yeah. So this fucking piece of art predates your basketball fandom.
It's definitely nostalgic to me. It's early memories of just like waking up on a Saturday morning at 8 o'clock and just smashing a whole kind of season out and just trading and simming and not knowing what I'm doing. But like, that's where the love of Dallas came into it. It's just, I kept playing with different teams and I found this really tall blonde bloke called D. Nowitzki and I was like, wow, this guy's cool. He's 7 foot, he can play in the post, he can rebound and he can shoot threes. This guy's unbelievable. So that's where my Dallas fandom kind of stuck. So really lucky to have found a good club. Not like perhaps the Wizards like you're loving, but it is what it is.
Shout out.
Shout out.
15 and 67 Woo! Coming up.
Jordan Poole.
So wait, you said it before, but your mates in high school were Mavs fans. Did that all come about together? Or
No,
did you
so
enter
that
high
was
school as a Mavs fan?
Correct. Yeah, that was completely fluke. That four of us, or 3 of us, sorry, were all Dallas Maverick fans.
Yeah,
and we were on the same friendship circle. So it's pretty good. Like when we're in the playoffs and the team chat is just going off, it's fucking fantastic. Like we're riding the dick of Luka and Kyrie, and then we're just killing Hardaway Jr. But it's very lucky that we've got 3 people going for Dallas in one friendship circle. It's fun.
Yeah, no shit, bro. So like this most previous playoffs, or maybe let's rewind to the trades, the trade deadline. I didn't think you guys were gonna make the finals. My mate Johnny was like, why would they not make the finals? And I was like, I don't know, just need more time.
Yeah.
What did you think? What was your? Were you like? What was your like? Oh, we'll make the finals in X amount of years. We need X more pieces. When the trades went down, were you like, this is where we are?
Well, I'm not in the NBA for a good reason. I'm sure I don't have like the analytics or the brain power, but from an outsider's perspective who just likes basketball, you look at Dallas and it's just Kyrie Irving, who's amazing, Luka Doncic, who's amazing, but other than that, you don't have players that can score 30 or 25 or 40 points in a game. So I just really didn't kind of understand how we kept on winning and kept on going past each game and each round. So I really thought that we would cap out at Minnesota. I just didn't believe that we would like beat them at home and away. So the fact that we won, was it 4-1, I think, the series?
Yeah, was it? Oh, shit.
Yeah, so we only lost one game and we kind of spanked them. So that was a complete shock. The fact that we got to the grand final was awesome, unreal, sad. I did think Boston from the start of the season was just going to steamroll everyone if they stayed healthy. But yeah, Dallas getting to the grand final was unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking Boston churned through the season like you on a Saturday morning. And in terms of the pulse check right now, what's the feeling? Do you feel like you got better over the offseason? You added so hang on, I should introduce this. You added Clay.
Yeah.
You added Najee Marshall.
Yeah.
You sacked Derek Jones Jr.
Yeah, which I'm not happy about.
And you sacked who else? Did you trade someone else? Sign and trade someone else?
The Aussie boy.
Jack White?
No. Well, we got rid of Josh Green to the Hornets.
Yeah.
Which I'm not happy about either.
What was that deal? You didn't print out this is also for anyone else not in the room. James has printed out all of the transactions, which is so handy.
Quentin Grimes.
Oh yeah,
we got Quentin Grimes.
That's huge
in that big trade. I like Quentin Grimes.
Yeah.
I'm very happy that we've got rid of Hardaway Jr.
Yeah.
But we can talk about that later as well.
Yeah. So do you reckon? Oh, here you go. Oh no. So do you reckon you're better? Do you reckon you're better?
Look, I'm on the fence with Clay. I'm a bit unsure. Like, it's great that we have a potential shooter, but he really has not delivered for the Warriors in the last year. Like, he was quite upset coming off the bench, and he was very verbal about that to the media. Obviously, starting every other game and being a god basically from the 3-point line, and then kind of having a rather huge slump and becoming a meme with the 0 and 10s in the elimination game. I'm worried about that. I hope that he can kind of play his role, which is probably going to be just pin down, shoot, which is what we need. Have we got better? I think it's very similar. I think Najee Marshall and Derek Jones are very similar. I would think maybe Jones has a better upside than Marshall. Maybe he's a better shooter. Maybe a bit more athletic. So I think it's pretty neutral.
Yeah, I would agree. I think theoretically Derek Jones Jr. is better than Najee Marshall. But I think Najee Marshall, like, you probably don't want Derek Jones Jr. to take 10 shots in a playoff game. And he doesn't want to either.
No, you're probably
right.
Whereas
Najee Marshall, like, kind of loves that. Like,
I
there was
hope
a few
so.
Pelicans games where he was like, he was just driving their late game rotation. And it's just like, come on, man, Zion and Brandon Ingram are out there. Why is Najee Marshall the leader of this shit?
It's true, yeah.
But he just has that, like, I guess, like, it's a fearlessness that...
bit of dog in him.
Yeah. He fully sounds like that. That Derek Jones Jr. clearly didn't have.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's the replacement there. And then with Clay, I think you just got to, like... You got to hope it was just, like, situation gone stale in Golden State for you guys. And that he will just accept a new role in a new situation. Because if you can get, like, the bench role Clay, that's going to be awesome. Like, points did look like they were pretty sticky to come by for you guys late in the playoffs. Yeah. Especially when, like, all you could really do was shoot over Boston. Yeah. And it's like, all right, well, let's give Clay 23s in that situation and see if he can hit 8.
Yeah, I'd rather give Clay the shots than Tim Hardaway Jr. the shots, that's for sure. But the thing that's worrying for me is as players progress and you get older, like, Father Time always takes your attributes away, but your shot usually doesn't leave you.
Yeah, true.
So, like, Dirk Nowitzki, old as dirt, but could still post you up and just obviously shoot over the top of you. Clay, in the last, 20 games of the last season, was not amazing. And there was very, like, obvious things that it's probably mental. So hopefully, like you said, maybe it's a new change of scenery and maybe that changes his perspective. But that's worrying for me that the basket's not going in. So,
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think we don't. Yeah, we haven't talked about, and we probably don't need to talk about the defensive side of things. I think that ship has sailed.
Well, yeah.
And if you're coming off the bench, I think that's
green light.
Yeah.
Green light.
That's what's expected of you. You're not going to keep in front of everyone, of anyone.
Yeah.
The Josh Green, I think that'll be the one that I think there are quite clear for subs in and out with Tim Hardaway Jr. out, Clay in, Najee in, Derek Jones Jr. out, Josh Green out. Quentin Grimes in. I think that might be the one you lose the most.
Yeah, I think maybe the thought process would be that Dante Exum was playing quite well that season, and maybe he could be just an obvious kind of substitution. Maybe he could play a bigger role that would eat into Green's potential time. But in that playoff run, Green was playing quite well.
Yeah,
and
really
was
well.
hitting threes and really making the game kind of, I don't know, watchable at some stages, Yeah, so I guess we'll wait and see.
Yeah, because I think that's the issue with Dante. Yeah, thank you, bro. We've been sitting on the halftime screen for so long. Oh, this is a PS3 as well.
It's a PS3, yeah.
That was the biggest point of concern, I think, in terms of watching Dante in the finals, was just surely I could run a few better plays than you right now, bro. What's the you're on the court, fucking enjoy yourself. You're an NBA player.
Yeah, I know. Well, look, all I can say is hopefully these changes are going to be for the betterment. But I never saw that we would make the final last season, so I can't foresee that it happens again. And there's all these other Western teams, e.g. Timberwolves, that are still so strong and eager and hungry to get there.
Yeah, but even the Wolves, I don't think they got better. I feel like they're just shedding their depth, and I feel like their depth was their strength.
Yeah, I think they're very similar. I guess their big men. Rudy's getting older, but he's still a depoy contention, which I don't believe he should have won. But that's
right there with you.
Yeah, fucking anyway. That's another day. But yeah, I'm sure they'll amaze me, and I'm sure Luka will score 40 a game, and Kyrie will score 40 a game, and hopefully Clay can score, I don't know, 5 threes. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, just as long as they have to stick on him.
Yeah, exactly.
Because then that opens up the lob to your fucking...
Lively.
Awesome. Oh, yeah. Bro,
Lively's unreal. I think he's born in 2004.
Yeah.
And he's just cooking people.
Yeah.
He's so bloody good.
Yeah.
He's so good.
Yeah, well, did you... I don't know how closely you follow, the off-court stuff, but, his mum passed away, a month or two before... the end of the season, and he's a fucking 19-year-old kid, man.
Yeah, very sad.
Yeah.
And he's running, he's starting. And he's cooking everybody against, Boston and everybody else. So pretty unreal that Dallas keeps finding gems through draft or acquisitions.
Well, this is either a curse or the opposite of a curse in the NBA. It's the same teams that develop these players.
Yeah.
Dallas, fucking Golden State have been pretty good at it.
Yeah.
OKC, obviously. Yeah. And then on the other side, the Wizards haven't really developed anyone.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, it took 4 years for Denny Avdia to become a subpar
player.
Win,
Yeah,
where we could get Malcolm Brogdon and 2 picks out of him.
Yeah, that is very disappointing. I guess it comes down to clientele that you have in the front office. And GMs and an atmosphere that you can really pull into a club.
Yeah. One of the people my sister works with is from Washington, and she was like, I told her that I went for the Wizards, and she was like,
why?
Not even people from Washington go for the Wizards. She was like, no one cares about them. They care about the football team and the hockey team, but no one talks about the Wizards.
So what was your kind of genesis of going for Washington Wizards?
So I was shopping around for teams.
This
was around 2012, 13. It was the season before they got Paul Pierce.
So you got John Wall, and he's cooking.
He's cooking.
Bradley Beal?
As a junior, I think he might have been rookie year.
Nice.
But as a junior, I was always short, fat, slow.
Love it.
So my coach was like, Lukas, you're the smallest player on the court, but we need you to play the 4 because you can't play anything else.
Fuck yeah.
I put on a big so they can get the rebounds.
Hell
but
yeah.
You go and guard the other team's big because you know how to get away with all the inside shit.
Nice.
And you're also not fast enough to play on the perimeter.
Brother, this sounds like you're talking about me. This is so good.
So then I was like, who's the fastest cunt in the league? And then I was like, John Wall.
Jay Wall.
And I was like, all right, well... And then this was also, at the time, I was like, are these players using their athleticism? Because there were a few players I was like, you could just go ham. I can't, so please you
Yeah,
go
please.
ahead.
Yeah.
So then John Wall was doing it, and I was like, oh, this isn't like I can just live vicariously through this guy.
Nice.
And then ended up being a great decision for like 5 years. I was
Definitely.
watching like some of the most fun basketball in the NBA.
John Wall was unreal.
John Wall was unreal. Bradley Beal, I mean, I
The
think
Polish hammer.
the Polish hammer. I mean,
Look,
couldn't finish half.
There's
of
a
the layups.
screen named after him.
Yeah,
The Gortat
yeah.
screen.
The Gortat
That's
screen.
unbelievable.
Yeah. John Wall has like 200 posters on his own center.
Absolutely.
Otto Porter Jr. was awesome to follow.
Fantastic.
Markieff Morris is a fucking moron.
The twins are unreal.
The twins are unreal. Bro, there was a good 2 seasons where Jason Smith was the backup power forward. And he was just straight up better than Markieff.
The big white boy.
Yeah,
He's good, yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, you take 4 mid-ranges a game, hit 3 of them. That's all you need to do.
It does feel like they have kind of scammed their way to be in the NBA. Like, I don't know
Jason
how they...
Smith?
No, not Jason Smith. The
Morris twins.
Yes, the Morris twins. Like,
Yeah.
Do we have Markieff on Dallas?
Yeah, I think you do. Markieff
What does he do?
Well, he fucking bullied Luka a few years ago when he was playing for the Clippers. He was like, that was so weird because it was like, I'm the guy. That screenshot of him in the bubble and the 3 Clippers like going like, over Luka.
So sad.
Bro,
Yeah.
Luka's 20, you guys are in your 30s.
Yeah, Luka's been playing basketball since he was 14 for Real Madrid. Relax, dude.
He's eliciting this response in you because he's 10 times better than
He's
you.
unbelievable. He's fat and slow and can still beat you up. It's unreal.
It's
so good.
Anyway, so that's why I went for the Wizards. It was great, and then it was shit. But now we're back on the mend. I think getting rid of Denny, same day we got Alex Sarr, was awesome.
Alex Sarr is fantastic. That is so good. He played so well in the NBL. Like, it was so exciting to watch Perth and like, who's this young kid? This guy's balling out. It was great. It was brilliant to watch Sarr.
So you know more about this than I do, but did he start in the NBL when he was 18?
Yes, I believe so. But I think it was like the lineup was interchanging when he was playing as well. Like,
okay.
He'd be on and off. But I think for the most part he was on. I mean, number one prospect, back then, they're going to play him. And I'm trying to remember, like having Cotton as well. Like, that's so unreal to have like NBL, borderline Australian kind of Hall of Fame status to play with. And it seems like Perth is kind of, I guess you could have an analogy of the Spurs of the NBL to the NBA.
Yeah, right, okay.
Like, it's just a factory of, that just wins and wins and wins, and they always seem to sign marquee players.
Yeah.
That with the Sydney Kings as well. So it's great that, he signed there.
Yeah.
And had a good kind of upbringing in the NBL.
Do you reckon the Wizards signing Valanciunas to be like to take all the blows while he like makes his way into a starting center role or just a center role in the NBA? Do you reckon that's a good idea, or should they just go straight into putting Sarr at the 5?
Sarr's pretty chicken in terms of like he's a very skinny bloke, but so is Wemby. But Wemby is a freak of nature. He's the alien. I think the deal itself is actually quite good. Like Jonas Valanciunas for a $30 million contract over 3 years.
Yeah.
I think that's super solid.
Yeah,
like
movable as well.
Yeah, movable as well. And Jonas probably has a couple of good years where he can give you. I mean, if he's playing on the Wizards, I'm sure he could easily score 15 and 12, like easy peasy, with free throws and jump hooks and baby hooks.
We're also like second in the league for pace.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So just put it to him and just bump and grind.
Yeah,
that's so good.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. I think it's actually quite a good deal. I think Jonas is really solid, and I mean, on that team, he could score a lot of points and a lot of rebounds and a lot of stats.
So Sarr is X amount of years away from being the starting center. Sold for X.
Well, I think that's probably the reason why they signed that contract.
Yeah. Oh, so you reckon 3?
Or he might even be a stretch for, like, depending on where Kyle Kuzma would play.
True.
Or if they keep Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah.
So if they move Kuzma for parts or something, I'm sure Sarr kind of has more upside than Kuzma at the moment. He's probably been a bit stagnant.
Yeah, I think Kuzma might also be a Klay Thompson, like, needs a new situation sort of guy. And it usually works out, like fucking PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford just like left the dungeons of the NBA.
Yeah, it's very true. So hopefully the Wizards can like not fumble this. Like you've had like a couple of really key pieces, and that probably kind of trickles down from Gilbert Arenas, who is the cover player for NBA Live 08, by the way.
There he is. For anyone that wanted an update, 74-72 Spurs up halfway through the third.
Yeah, so I think definitely the Wizards having that kind of big marquee player being Gilbert Arenas and that kind of capitulating to what that was and kind of trickling down into your roster, it doesn't really help for, I guess, the atmosphere of a club and
true.
how they can acquire players. And you kind of always get that mantle of like, yeah, we fuck up, we screw up, our players aren't amazing, we can't keep them. So hopefully the Wizards don't fuck up with Star.
Yeah. Well, fucking fingers crossed. And on the Pelican side of things, we touched on it, but I guess I mean before the pod, but Daniel Theis just signed with the Pelicans.
Yeah.
Seems like the, don't want to say only option, but seems like the only option that was out there in terms of a center, seeing as they gutted out. I can't remember who their backup was, but that
Larry
JV
Nance,
as well.
is he still there?
I think is he not gone? I think
sure.
they might have. Let me check my notes, but I think they might have moved on from him. I think famously Marco, contributor of the show, was very upset that they
got rid of Nance.
That they got rid of Nance. Departures. Here we go. Oh, let me just pull that up. Larry Nance Jr. Departs via trade with Pelicans. That
that doesn't really explain.
But yeah, he's out. So, and Cody Zeller is also out. So they just got rid of all their centers. Drafted Eves Missy. And now Daniel Theis. What energizes you about the Daniel Theis fit?
I mean, I like him. I think he's undersized bloke. I think he's like 6'8" or 6'9".
Yeah.
I like him. He's cool. I guess he will come off the bench for... Or will he be the starter then?
I think he'll be the starter. I think that's the plan. Or like, you just got to nut up and get Zion to play the 5. I mean, you do...
five?
You don't trust him protecting the ring. But like, offensively, the two best situations with Zion is fucking center and point guard.
Yeah, give him the ball and get out the fucking way.
Yeah.
Set him screens and let him charge through the paint. That's what you should do. Theis, I don't know. I don't think I'd be happy if he was my starting center. I guess it depends on the rest of the team and how stacked they are. I mean, they do have Zion, who's unbelievable.
Zion, Ingram seems like he's staying.
I love
DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And then you'd guess surely CJ's still starting. They just got no vibes, man.
Yeah.
They just are seriously like, imagine going into that locker room, like, it's like, what's going on in here? I don't want my locker to be next to anyone.
It's just players on a roster. Other than Zion, like, he probably has an aura about him. But other than that, it's just like, there's just dudes. There's journeymen that are in the NBA. I feel bad for that franchise as well. They just can't, I don't know, they just can't get it together. There's no real, like, other than Anthony Davis and maybe when Boogie was playing, like, that was excitement. You've got Twin Towers and that's super cool, but they're another franchise that can't really hold a superstar for a long period and be successful.
That's true. They also had Drew Holiday and Rajon Rondo on that team.
Yeah.
When Rondo had that, like, 25 assists.
Yeah, unbelievable. Vintage Dawkins highlights. We love watching that stuff. Shout out.
Perfect, if you're watching. Did you ever watch Coach Daniel?
No.
YouTuber?
No.
Oh, dude. Okay, well, you'll love this.
Is he running plays?
He was breaking down. He was like, I actually think he made me a better basketball player.
That's awesome.
So I was watching him for like 4 years, and then one day he was like, he just stopped making videos, and he was like, and then he like, a couple months later, he was like, hey, sorry guys, I got a job with the Mavericks.
Oh, that's unreal.
As like a film guy.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so you're Dallas Mavericks.
Very Eric Spoelstra vibes. That's so good.
So then he was working there for like 2 years, and then he was like, and then he left. He was like, it was great. I learned more than I ever will, but it was just too much work.
Yeah.
But it's just so interesting the way, like, his path from YouTube to the NBA. Just like, they're just like, you obviously know your shit.
You study film.
Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube's unbelievable.
Yeah. However, I bring up Coach Daniel because to bring it all back to Daniel Theis.
Yes.
He was really hot on the way Theis was defending as a 5 in the bubble.
Okay.
He was like, the reason, I can't remember who the other bigs were at the time.
Yeah.
I know Horford was there. This is about the Celtics. Horford, and it might have been Rob Williams.
Yeah, Time Wizard.
Time
Yeah,
Lord.
Time Lord, sorry.
Yeah.
So, my bad. My apologies, Time Lord.
Time Wizard. And I think they were like switching on Theis situationally. And it might have been also against, I can't remember who was against as well. But anyway, he just spoke really highly of the way he could switch out on smaller players.
Okay.
Which might be an issue for the Pelicans. Well, obviously that's an issue when Valanciunas is your center.
Yeah.
And I guess maybe this is like the path to Zion playing center defensively when he has 4 guys that can defend on the perimeter.
Yeah.
You know, quote unquote defend on the perimeter.
Definitely strong enough.
Oh my god, he can fucking jump high enough.
And he can
well.
jump high enough too. I don't know if you would want to do that.
Yeah, I think that seems to be the issue with a lot of these teams.
Yeah.
It's just a superstar that just personal preference gets
doesn't
in the
want
way
to play
of,
center.
Yeah, gets in the way of winning.
Yeah.
Fucking AD, I don't want to play center.
Yeah.
You're 7 feet tall. What position do you want to play?
And like, I don't have the stats on me, but I think he has generally, one of the worst 3-point field goals of like all time for a big man. Like, it's not good. And when you see him shooting threes, it's gonna miss. But I guess when you see them going in, you're gonna win the game.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty unreal.
And then also this past season for the Lakers, they were like, "Oh, we want you to shoot less threes," or maybe he was like, "I want to shoot less threes," and it bumped up his efficiency.
Yeah, no shit. The 7-foot guy under the rim getting rebounds and putting it back up. Like, no shit. You score 40 points, dude.
When the center moved to center, that was a good move.
Yeah, LeBron James begging that you can help me when I'm 40 years old. Please stay under the ring, dude.
Yeah. All right. Well, what about the Lakers?
What about them?
What are you feeling?
The big acquisition of Bronny?
Yeah.
I mean, was it...
His full name is LeBron James Jr.
Yeah, I know. Call him his full name. Don't be embarrassed, dude.
I hope one... I don't know. It's not going to... Oh, fuck. It'd be awesome if there was an international competition, a FIBA competition.
Yeah.
Where LeBron James and Bronny are on the same team. Because they use their full names. Like Bam Adebayo is Idris or whatever.
Yeah.
So it would just say fucking LeBron James Sr. and LeBron James Jr.
That's awesome. That's so good.
Yeah. But actually, we don't have to talk about them for too long. But I feel like you'd have a good Bronny take.
I mean, I don't think he should have gone to the NBA. Like, I think he should have just gone. Like, if he was wanted in the NBL, like if that was true, I'm sure some NBL team would. I'm sure the Wollongong Hawks would fucking love having Bronny James play 10 minutes a game. I'm sure that would bring in fans with Lakers tops and fill up seats. I don't think he should have played or been signed to the Lakers. I think that's wild. I think they could have got any other pick. Like, I'm not aware of the picks at 55, but I think Ariel Hukporti, he got drafted 58th by the New York Knicks. 6'10" German kid who played for Melbourne United. That's great. Let's do that. Let's do that over LeBron James' son. Like, it's a bit disappointing that the nepotism is there. But I guess it's LeBron James. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. Yeah. And you just play ball with... And his super contract is unbelievable. It's like 2 years and it's $50 million or something like that.
Yeah, what was it? I think he was like eligible for 104 over 2 and then took a pay cut for 101 over 2.
Oh, he took a pay cut. What a good man.
Or it was whatever value and then the cut was to $104 million a year. So over 2 years.
Yeah, look, I hope that he is a pretty salvageable basketball player. I think the situation is pretty wild. I think he could have made his own run at any other team, or be it play in the NBL, if that is the truth by Rich Paul. But it is what it is. Nepotism.
Yeah, I this is probably stupid of me, but I didn't think he was going to get drafted.
No, neither. I was like,
surely not. Yeah, like, I understand not. LeBron James is who LeBron James is.
Yeah,
but like, this team is. I think the LeBron dad was less important to LeBron than LeBron championship. But now I think the Lakers are just like, we're not going to win a ring. Like, we have to do something else. Like, we're no longer in the business of winning rings. Maybe that ship sailed when fucking Anthony Davis didn't want to play center and they couldn't bring anyone else in.
Yeah.
Like, the Lakers couldn't attract anyone.
Well, I think it's LeBron James who's the deterrent for everything else. Definitely. I'm sure there's like admiration for him and how good he is, but he's definitely a circus in terms of all the media, and I think it's a deterrent for any other young player. Like, you probably have to be on the bench unless you're a center or a point guard who's not in LeBron's kind of position. So that might not be beneficial to certain players. Like, look at Clay. I'm sure they called him up. Like, LeBron was talking to Clay, probably over the phone as well. California is fantastic. It's gorgeous. But I don't think you can win there, especially with LBJ. He's 39, 40. Yeah. He's an old boy.
Yeah, 40 this year. Yeah, that's what I feel about with Team USA, with Steph, KD, LeBron, AD. Who else? Kawhi. I think they're like, oh, I probably won't ever win anything again, so I may as well get this gold medal. I think this is my last hurrah.
I think it's I think it's a lot of fun. I think you're going to camp. You're going to grade 6 camp with all your homies.
Yeah.
But you also get to play basketball, the thing that you love, and you're playing in a different country, and you're really just whooping on dudes. A lot of fun. And it's, in those last couple of games, it's probably very competitive against Argentina and Spain and whatnot. It's year 6 camp and you're having a ball.
Yeah.
I reckon it's a fun time.
Yeah. Will you be glued to the
Glued.
basketball?
So young James loved FIBA basketball, and the current James loves FIBA basketball.
Yeah.
It's definitely, I think, especially Australian fans, I think would love, and I guess I'm talking on your behalf, love FIBA basketball because one, it's officiated the way that we like to play. It's rough. There's no ticky-tacky fouls. And if there is, the refs will just say, yeah, that's a foul, or get out. Like, there's no
there's no fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Or you picked up the ball and you took 2 steps, that's a travel.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
We don't play these NBA bullshit rules.
Yeah.
And we play with a gorgeous Molten. It's great.
Oh,
we love a Molten.
dude.
Molten basketball rocks.
Unbelievable.
It's great seeing...
The grooves,
Oh, yeah.
so much easier to shoot with.
We love it.
Spalding's
gross. When you play
8
Spalding,
panels?
when you're playing Thursday night Division 12 basketball with a Spalding, I want to shoot myself.
Yeah.
Molten's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Molten, I want to shoot the ball. Spalding, I want to shoot myself. And also, they just don't give a fuck who you are.
No.
Like, they're just like, this. My job is to call the fouls.
Exactly
I will call
right.
the foul to the letter.
Yeah, I like when my referees are from Kazakhstan and Mongolia and they don't give a shit that your name's LeBron James. And like, you obviously are getting paid like $1 billion per year for a contract, and this guy's just doing his job.
Yeah.
And it's a foul, it's a foul.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're Kobe Bryant or LeBron James.
Yeah. Me and Mark will do a deeper run at the Boomers and the Opals, but what are you feeling for both teams? Are you feeling podium for either teams? Are you feeling...
I think our group's pretty rough. From my recollection, I think it was like Spain. God, I can't.
Canada,
remember.
Spain,
Yeah.
and I'll pull it up. But how are you feeling about? Let's start. Let's fucking. How do you feel about No Matisse?
No Matisse. I mean, I don't really understand the omission. Like, I guess he's not he's an unbelievable defender. He's great, but. Maybe is it thinking as an offensive perspective, because every time it comes to Olympics time, I'm like, oh, who's our bucket getter? Like, it used to be like Aaron Baines in the post, and he would just baby hook and get like 20 points per game. Obviously, it's Patty Mills scoring threes off like pin downs. I guess the thinking would potentially be maybe Matisse doesn't give us offensive output, which we don't. I don't think we necessarily do. Like, we've got Goulding who can really splash threes.
He's not on the team though.
Is he not?
He didn't get picked.
That's unbelievable.
They got Jack McVeigh got picked.
Okay, all right.
I don't. Yeah, because in terms of buckets, it's like Giddy's like what 14 a game.
Sure, but it's
Jingles is like 12. Patty we might be rolling out his corpse in the last game and him giving us
38. Yeah.
Oh no, but like to get to that point,
Yeah.
he'll be like fucking Gatorade bar empty. You know,
I just don't think we have a lot of playmakers who can actually score a basket by themselves. Like, a lot of our players are, I need this screen from this 7-footer. So
Will Magnay.
Yeah. And get that lob.
Yeah.
And then hopefully we can get like a jump shot, like Patty Mills is always getting those screens up and down. And same with Giddy. So I don't think it's going to look too pretty for us, to tell you the truth. Like, I don't like our chances.
So you got Spain, Canada, and Greece. Canada will wipe the floor with us.
Yeah.
It'll be like 60 to 100.
Like, off the top of my head, Shea Gilgeous, Kelly Olynyk, Dort.
Yeah.
Maybe Corey Joseph didn't get picked.
No, I think Wiggins isn't playing either.
Oh, okay.
I think the Warriors own his fucking
His soul?
decision making.
Okay.
Any sort of autonomy.
Um,
And then I think Jamal Murray's injured.
okay.
But there's still... The list goes on. Also, Shea.
Yeah, Shea's unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of role players
Yeah.
as well that play in the NBA. And then Spain.
Spain's in their down tick. Spain's kind of...
Is that like Aldama?
They got Santi Aldama.
He's pretty good.
The Bo Cruz.
Okay.
Willie.
Yeah.
Willie and Wancho.
Oh, yeah, they're great. They're great. They're very salvageable.
I think Rudy Fernandez.
No way he's still
I
playing.
think he's 39 or something.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Sergio Yui.
Dude, he used to cook me in NBA Live 10 and 11. Rudy Fernandez at the Trailblazers.
62 overall.
He would just bang three. He was so fucking good.
Yeah.
So hearing you say those names, maybe we could squeeze a win out of Spain.
Yeah, maybe Spain, maybe Greece as well. Like the way we played against Slovenia 3 years ago and just loaded everyone up on Lukas.
Great night. Great night. I watched it here and I was screaming. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, but I think we could adopt that on Giannis. I guess Giannis can just eat whoever's in front of him.
Yeah, who plays on Giannis?
Yeah, everyone. Magne.
Good luck, bro. Magne is probably one of the most athletic players we have in terms of that position.
Yeah. Otherwise, Landale.
Yeah.
But like, it'll just be everyone. Like, it'll be everyone, and then just like everyone pinching off the shooters, and just
hope they miss the 3-pointers. Right?
We're not losing to Giannis. I think that'll be the MO.
Yeah.
So I think 1.5 games there. Is that enough? Is that enough? I don't think we're sniffing the podium.
No. I think the world as a whole is becoming unbelievable at basketball, which only helps the viewer, us. Because FIBA basketball is perfect.
Oh my god,
it's
actually.
Perfect. It's so good. The one thing I'm not super keen about is like knocking stuff off the cylinder. Like that's in the NBA as well. It's like it's essentially rewarding the person with the biggest Boeing vert. And I'm not sponsored by Boeing vert, but I wish I was. But yeah, essentially the tallest and the most springy guy can knock it out the cylinder, which is contentious. But that's my only, humbug about FIBA.
Yeah. All right. Actually, I think this is a good time to take a break, so we'll be back.
The NBA moves so quickly these days, it's hard to keep up. Shams and Woj are breaking stories left and right, but the Quick Time Out is right there with them to keep you informed on the latest NBA news. Stop in and let us break it down as it happens. Find the Quick Time Out on the Deep 2 Podcast Network.
And we are back. Fuck, what a break.
What a break.
James, absolute aberration. F- on my part. Sob for X again. James Sementriadis is the ex-best lawn bowls player in Victoria.
I wouldn't say that. I would say James Sementriadis is currently the Yarra Men's Region Champion of Champions, and I hold that medal quite high in the sky.
Yeah.
But we've got a bit of a bug going. Oh, all good.
The game's still on.
Sorry, my bad.
There are 12-minute quarters.
12-minute quarters, and I'm enjoying the hell out of this game.
Yeah.
Yes, back to the Yarra Region Finals. I got to represent in a state competition, my club, being Templestowe, represent.
Yeah.
It was terrific. I've just started playing lawn bowls the last 2 years because, unfortunately, I keep getting injured playing basketball and every other sport. So I took up lawn bowls, which is a pretty chilled sport, a sport where you can smoke cigarettes and drink beers in between your play. So it's quite a casual sport, but it does have a element of competitiveness if you're so keen for it, which I am.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. I can't wait to get you out on the green, and I can show you a couple of tips.
Right across the road from Fitzroy Bowls Club.
Are you?
Not to dox myself,
Sure.
To the direct address.
Yeah, all the millions of followers that are listening to this will definitely egg your house.
Yeah. But would you be one of the 1,000 best players in Vic?
Well, I guess if you want to be very pretentious about it, there is a Australian ranking system, and I think I'm 1,262nd in Australia.
Oh, in Australia?
In Australia, but that system is so flawed. It's just very like, if you enter a competition, you get points. Okay. And I've been playing a lot of bowls. So there's some blokes, Joe Blow, who just enter every competition and do mediocre, and they could be top 100. So it's a pretty flawed system. Yeah. But in saying that, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I think I'm tied with 400 other people, 562nd or something. So, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So you play primarily... What are the different... There's singles, doubles... Is there quads?
Yes, so it's pennant bowling, and it's played they've got Tuesday pennant and Saturday pennant. So essentially it's a summer sport. So much like cricket, you'd have to play in summer because the weather is good. Mm-hmm. Now, winter is amidst now, and it's awful. It's raining and you can barely bowl. So you have to wait, unfortunately, all the way until summer to actually play. And it's very much like the Premier League in England. So they have divisions in which you can get promoted and get relegated. So the Premier League, like the EPL is the top dog, and we have a Premier League in Victoria as well.
Okay.
If you're so inclined, you desire to get to that highest division.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not up to you. You've got 16 people in your team. You've
Right,
got four mini teams in the 16. So it's 4, 8, 12, 16.
Mm-hmm.
So you could be an amazing player, but it's a team sport like soccer or basketball. Your teammates could play poorly. You could play poorly. It's not entirely up to you. So
Right.
it's very much a team game, and that's why I love it as well. You've got 15 other people that you're playing with and communicating with, and it's a lot of fun.
So what would the roles be in a
That's a
quadrant?
good question. So you play on a rink, and you've got 4 players in that rink. So you've got the lead, who's usually the newest bowler. There's less kind of responsibility. Essentially, what your job is to do is you get the mat and you get to position it where you want, and you get to control where the jack goes.
Hold up.
Hold
You put the mat up for everyone?
Everyone.
Oh my god.
Correct.
Wow.
So you would talk to your skip, who is the captain, who's at the other end.
Shit.
And he or she would say, I want a small end, or I want a short end, or I want a long end. So it's very, with every sport, they have nuances and nicheness, I guess, if that's a word. And there's kind of strategy. So if your opposition is bad at long ends, well, you play long. And then vice versa with a short end. So you do have a very important job. You have the first bowl, and you kind of initiate that pressure on the opposition. And as soon as a bowl is on the jack and you're up next, you kind of shit yourself. You're going, I need to match this energy or match this bowl. Then the second position is just the second, unfortunately. The third is the third as well. And then you've got the skip, who's the captain. So you've got 2 bowls each. And the skip kind of controls the ship, and it's a lot of fun. It's like you're architecting your head, and you want your teammates to bowl on this side to kind of counterbalance what you don't have. So it's a game of chess, long bowls, which is a lot of fun.
And where are you positioned?
I am kind of everywhere at the moment. It does definitely depend on experience and ability. So for Templestowe, we were playing in Division 5, so quite a low division.
Yeah.
I was kind of put everywhere because I was fortunately and unfortunately on the board and doing team selection. So it felt very much like I was running a FIFA club or an NBA roster because I would pick and select who can play where, playing the ones and playing the twos. So I would play wherever they needed me to. But I've just signed on to Brunswick, and I assume I would be playing as a lead or a second.
Okay.
So basically that means that the more experienced players will be playing in the perhaps more important positions, being skip and third.
Okay. What's your preferred position?
Third and skip, and the reason why is there's a lot of bowlers that have already come down. And you have the capacity, and that I do without being pretentious, to throw a bowl down with a lot of, anger and heat and try and disturb the head and make it a bit more approachable for my skip.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to get you down on the green and kind of just thunder them down with you. That's a lot of fun.
So how precise can you get? Are you hoping there's there's one?
I'm pretty good.
You'll just send it?
I'm pretty good. Yes, I'm pretty good. And there's plenty of players that are far better than me. Like, I'll show you some of the pros. Most recently, last month, they played the Australian Open of lawn bowls on Broadbeach. They are unbelievable.
On Broadbeach in Queensland?
Yes, yeah, because the weather's good up there.
Shit.
They are unbelievable.
Are you hoping to get there?
Look, I guess in life you have to have unrealistic and realistic expectations. And as we see, the Phoenix Suns winning 119 against the Spurs 105 in a 12-minute game. And now we're watching the highlight reel.
The Sprite highlight reel.
Sprite highlight reel with Bruce Bowen having a nice dunk. What was I saying?
Australian Open in Broadbeach.
Yes, they are unbelievable. And unrealistic expectations, yes, I would love to play at that level. Unfortunately, I don't think I'd be able to because there's just a whole litany of kids that have been playing lawn bowls since you were 10. And it's the same with every sport. Like, if you're playing at the age of 8 and you just keep playing until 20, you're just a phenom.
Yeah.
But I can definitely play at a very high level, in which I do expect to play at Brunswick in Div 1, which is 2 divisions below the highest division in Victoria. So very excited to do that.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, damn, I could definitely get down for a game.
Yeah, definitely.
And there's like $4 beers or something.
It's the Brunswick Bowls Club made close to $850,000 of profit off just the bar last year. So they just
you got to buy
it. They just make unbelievable amounts of money behind the bar, and for good reason. Like, it's cheap beer, it's a good spot, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Have you seen Cracker Jack?
Of course I've seen Cracker Jack. I love Cracker Jack.
Let me rephrase it. How many times have you seen Cracker Jack?
Honestly, I've seen Cracker Jack probably 5 times, and that's probably a lot for watching Cracker Jack.
Yeah.
It's good. I love it. It's good fun. I love lawn bowls so much. It's definitely one of the highlights of my last 3 or 4 years, is just getting into the sport, meeting so many cool people, and like really having something that makes me excited for the weekend.
Yeah, that's nice. How do you find the age spread? I feel like at one stage you mentioned that you were doing doubles.
Yeah.
And your partner was 88.
Yeah. So.
And what was her name? Was it she?
It was Anita Cleary. So shout out to Anita Cleary. We love you so much.
Yeah.
So definitely playing for a smaller club or a suburb, living in a suburb which is out of the city, being Templestowe, your clientele is just an older bunch.
Yeah.
So my teammates ranged from 26 being my age, I got my mate to play with me, then to 91. And it's awesome. It's one of the best sports because no matter if you have, a disability from having one leg or being in a wheelchair, you can play it. And there's no kind of age discrepancy. You can be 26 or 70, and on a good day or a bad day, you can get your fucking ass kicked by an 80-year-old. So that's why it's a great sport in my eyes. Anybody can play, no matter age, creed, or disability, or ability. So I love it.
What are the roles in doubles?
So it's just essentially the same, but you just have someone with lead or skip. So that it's kind of lessened the format. So it's just 1 and 2. So a lot of fun again. Like playing in a team atmosphere is a lot of fun, but unfortunately, I think I play much better singles. And I've had my most success playing singles, and I don't know why that is. And maybe one day you get to see me play, but I definitely do get into it and be a bit more, I don't know, what's the word? Verbose is a kind way. It's definitely kind. I'm definitely a bit of a psycho on the pitch.
You got white line fever.
Oh, white line fever all day. I love lawn bowls. It's so nuts.
Yeah. All right, I'm actually pretty keen to
get down for a game.
Be a viewer. I feel like the learning curve for me is just not something I'm. With everything in life right now, I'm not willing to start anything new in the next few years.
I don't want to hear that. That sounds really negative. And this and this being my first podcast with you, I'm worried.
I don't think listeners would have known that this is your first pod. But rolling the rock's good. Getting a jug for $10.
The best. Good. Cheap.
Going to the bar saying, "Can I get a jug? Can I get a jug of just Coke?"
Yeah,
Rising.
And getting flirted with the 70-year-olds, it's nothing better.
Yeah.
Them saying you've got a nice bum, it's the best. It's the best.
It's harmless.
It's the
last bastion of free speech.
Absolutely. Go to the bowls club.
Roll the rock.
Be a bit inappropriate.
Speaking of
what's this segue? What's this segue? You got it.
Old blokes just having a good time.
Go on.
DeMar DeRozan just made his way to the Sacramento Kings.
Okay, yes.
In a sign and trade in which the Chicago Bulls, who had DeMar DeRozan, got Chris Duarte and Chris Duarte only. And the San Antonio Spurs, who are just playing, casual sliders, got a 2031 pick swap when Wemby's going to be in the middle of his prime. Yeah. So they're going to get Sacramento's pick X for their pick 30.
Yep.
As well as Harrison Barnes. Now, I think quick notes. No, let's just start with the DeMar stuff. What do you think? What are you thinking? DeMar, the Kings, what's going on here? It's good, it's bad. It's just that what they had to do.
I think it's not a shock. I guess, didn't Kendrick say that DeMar was coming back to LA in one of his songs?
I had no idea.
He said, something on the lines that thank God DeMar's coming back home. So it was LA, but I didn't think it was going to be the Kings.
Yeah.
I stupidly would have thought it would have been the Lakers or something like that.
No, I think that's the most obvious.
But hindsight, you always seem super intelligent. That's not a good deal. That's not a good spot for the DeMar to be. The Lakers.
Yeah,
it's just like another cesspool for maybe a bit better than the Bulls. But what do I think about this deal? I think it's very much the same with Harrison Barnes and DeMar in their ability at the moment. I think DeMar could maybe take over a game a bit more, and maybe the Kings need that when it's down fourth quarter, 4 minutes left. Let's give it a DeMar and let him just pick up one-on-one with whoever's defending him. I think it's a slight upgrade at the moment. I do like DeMar a lot. I know he has some defensive inadequacies at times, and I just hope that it works, but I think it's a thumbs up for me. Like, an overall thumbs up. I think it's a positive thing. I think DeMar can get buckets in a quick way. I think it's a slight improvement from Harrison Barnes.
Yeah, I think that DeMar has grown as a playmaker as well since he's been in Chicago. He's also just got so many experiences in so many different scenarios. He was great in Toronto. There were like calls for MVP in the first year he was with the Bulls when they had Lonzo and they were at the top of the East. Everyone was like, "Oh, is this like the DeMar DeRozan third in MVP season?"
Yeah.
And yeah, he just. Do we need to get that?
I don't know. Well, hang it up. Hang on.
We can pause. And we're back. It was the minister's office calling. Steve Nash, the Jordan player of the game, with 24, and only 5 assists but 5 steals. So DeMar, I think, is he's had more responsibility than Harrison Barnes has ever had in his career. Harrison Barnes obviously a champion and brought that experience, but you had HB Black Falcon for a bit on the Mavericks.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, it's early ring guy. I think that would be my career. Would be Harrison Barnes. Get me a ring at 22. Get me 22 mil for the rest of my career.
Yeah, he got paid at Dallas, and he just didn't seem to really give what we needed.
Yeah.
So I don't really run high on Harrison Barnes. So I guess the Spurs usually just take older players that are okay and make them quite good. So I'm sure with Wemby playing at center, you'd get some open shots, and I'm sure he can hit some threes, and he'll be very salvageable. Yeah,
I think for the Kings, I feel like DeMar. There are so many situations where, or what I can imagine is their best case scenario is like DeMar at the 4, and then I don't know who at the 5, not Sabonis, but like them going late game. Maybe Sabonis is injured, and Mike Brown gets to get away with not playing him in the 4th, and then I don't even know who he'd play at the 5. Like some switchy, like Trey Lyles is the only guy coming to mind, but I feel like I want to give a better name than Trey Lyles. But just like an offense run by Fox and DeMar, I think that'll be interesting. I think that'll be a bit of a zag. I think that might be me trying to talk myself into this, but I think it's just an overall upgrade. Even though it's minor, it's still an upgrade.
Yeah.
And I think it'll make the Kings more interesting. I think...
yeah, definitely. It buys more tickets, it sells more shirts. Like a DeMar DeRozan Kings jersey sounds sick.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
I can already imagine him in a Kings jersey. I can already imagine Chris Paul in the Spurs jersey.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. That looks... It looks good. Like I see that they've signed again Alex Len, who was famously did gymnastics when he was a young boy. That's why he's so long and lengthy and flexible.
Yeah.
They got Malik Monk returning for a 4-year deal, which is great. And Malik played unbelievable last year. Like he was so much fun, dunking, shooting threes, and like was a big part of their early season push. Definitely was Malik Monk. I think their ceiling is probably top 4, top 5
in the West.
In the West,
yeah,
I think that's foreseeable.
Yeah,
and hopefully they can get like a high seed, so they can go into the playoffs at least to the second round.
Win a series, yeah.
Win a series.
Maybe that should be the goal. Maybe that's what they're aiming for.
I think in the West, it's definitely you got to play OKC, who's their young players are just going to get better and better, and you usually see on a FIBA year, let alone a Olympic year. Canada, you've got Shea Gilgeous. Those players play quite well. Like they've got so much experience, and you're versing the best players of each nation. You usually see an uptick in ability. So hopefully, if you can get, past OKC somehow, maybe they can play well. But we'll see.
Yeah. I think what came to mind, as I said earlier, I think this is like a, Najee Marshall upgrade for Derrick Jones Jr. stylistically.
Sure, yeah.
Like, whatever the fucking...
Yeah.
That's the home brand version of this. For the Kings. For the Spurs, I think they have just so quietly put the most responsible pieces around Wembanyama. Like Harrison Barnes, who else do you want than the 30-year-old that's been in 3 or 4 stops now, who's won a ring, who doesn't want to shoot the ball, but will take 8 shots a game. That's the wing you want next to Wemby. Who else do you want but fucking Chris Paul?
I know.
Just passing him the ball just 40 times a game.
And you saw so many games, like it'd be on so many highlights on YouTube, where like Wemby's got his hands up and he's like running to the ring, like, why didn't you pass it to me? I've got like a 6'7" dude on me, and I'm 7'2". Like, give it to me. Hopefully, CP3 is just dishing the rock like nobody's business to Wemby, and we see what happens. I assume CP3 would come off the bench.
For who? For Ty Jones or for Trey Jones or Stephon Castle?
Maybe Jones. Just on a essence of youth. And I assume CP3 probably can't hang with whoever's the starting point guard on any team. And he's getting up there.
He's 40.
Yeah, for a point guard position. Hopefully he plays 20 minutes a game. And in that, he's just making Wemby touch the ball every single time. Yeah.
I couldn't see Pop starting on the bench, though. I get the feeling Pop will be like, this is one of the best basketball players of this last 20 years.
Yeah, that's true.
To whoever else the guards are in the team, you're going to learn from this person.
And maybe they can hide him in whatever matchup. Yeah,
so. And also you can still play 20 minutes as a starter.
Yeah,
the Zubats and Montrez role from a few years ago.
Zubats is unreal. I love Zubats.
The Clippers seem like they're just fucking flaccid.
There's so many franchises that just shit luck, or just things just don't work out, or injuries, and the Clippers is definitely one of them. Like, for so many years now in a row, they've been the bigger brother to the Lakers. Yeah. In terms of just players and star power, but now it's just kind of the pendulum is again falling, not in their favor again, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. I was speaking of unfortunate, I was listening to fucking Bill Simmons and Ryan Russillo piss into each other's mouths. And they were talking about... what were they talking about? They were talking about the Clippers. I think they said the Clippers won 3 playoff series with Kawhi and PG.
Wow.
Or maybe that doesn't seem right, though. I feel like it's a bit more than that. But anyway, that's crazy. That's not even the amount you can win to win 1 ring in 1 year.
Yeah. I'm not going to get all the bloody draft picks correct. Like, I need it in front of me. But I think that Paul George trade, all the way back when, is... potentially, and I know hindsight's a bitch, potentially one of the worst trades of all time. Yeah. Like, they're still paying for it in terms of they still have picks that Sam Presti, the genius that he is still acquiring in the future. Yeah. And, like, the image itself is hilarious of it's Paul George that the Clippers receive and OKC receive, like, pick, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, pick. And I think maybe Jaden Williams that eventuated from one of the picks.
Probably, yeah.
Pick. Yeah. And all you have is Paul George. Yeah. And now Paul George is gone.
Who says no?
It's the worst. I think it's one of the worst trades of all time.
Yeah.
Like, it eventuating into Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's unbelievable. And then all of these unprotected picks.
But also it came with Kawhi as well. It was like Kawhi's like, I'm signing wherever Paul George goes.
Sure.
So I think you got to add that into the context.
Sure.
And the Clippers, I think Ballmer was like just took over. How long? No, he'd been there for a few years because of Donald Sterling.
I think he was around when they had Lob City.
Yeah, and I think he was just like, all right, that's a tear down. I need to play with the toy.
And like, hindsight's a bitch, and you're a genius. And like, look, getting PG and Kawhi Leonard, wow, amazing, super cool. But now, holy hell, like they're still paying for those picks.
Yeah. And then on the Bulls side, back to the Harrison Barnes trade, let's call it.
The Bulls side, stinky.
Chris Duarte.
Cool.
Awesome.
Oh, that's fantastic.
You got rid of Caruso and DeMar, who are two of your three best assets. Maybe, let's say, Kobe White's in there as well.
Sure.
Zach LaVine seems to be an untouchable piece at this point.
I think he's dead. Like, I think
no one wants him.
I think his career's
There's
gone.
no market for him.
Yeah.
But let's say Caruso and DeMar, two of their three best assets.
Sure.
0 picks.
Yeah.
For them.
Yeah.
Maybe the thinking is we want players today in the building. All right.
I think
Chris Duarte.
I think you can get a second round pick from the next 10 years. You can get maybe 2 of them, I reckon.
Did you ask?
Yeah, did you ask?
Did it come up in the phone call?
Me playing 2K, I'm always asking for that second round pick or first round pick. Just ask.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, it can't harm you.
Yeah, it's not going to get vetoed.
Yeah.
Relax.
Yeah. And then the straight swap Giddey for Caruso. I mean, since like the further away I get from the trade, the more I can see it from both sides.
Yeah, I don't mind Giddey.
Yeah.
I don't mind him,
Yeah.
but he's just in a shit show right now on the Chicago.
Yeah.
I see his numbers going up just because he's just going to be used like crazy. But then again, who is he passing to score a bucket?
Yeah.
Like, is Vucevic still playing?
Vucevic will
All right.
slide nice into the Wemby role.
Also, I love Vucevic. To me, he is unbelievable. He forever just gets 18 and 12 like every game. He's unreal.
Who, what was the? I can't remember who the Magic's current center is.
Wendell Carter.
Wendell Carter. Previous center was Vooch. Who do you reckon the center was before that?
Either Gortan or Dwight
It
Howard.
was Dwight. They had like a 15-year stretch where it was Dwight, the best center in the league, or
3
Vooch,
times defensive player of the year, by the way.
or Vooch, who was like one of the 5 best centers of the league when he
Vooch
was
was nice playing for the
Yeah.
Magic. Like an
With
all-star.
Augustine?
Yeah, Augustine was
Yeah.
fucking magic. Like Jameer Nelson was
could have been. Wow, that's such a funny like copy and paste. Jameer out, DJ Augustine.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, that's unreal.
What else do we have in here? Do you have any other deals you wanted to get to?
I wanted to
In this
talk
little
about.
pamphlet?
I wanted to talk about Philadelphia.
Oh, dude.
I thought
You've
Philadelphia.
come to the right place. A basketball podcast.
I think Philadelphia is, and it's very like obvious. I think Philadelphia won. If the offseason is a game, they won the offseason.
Okay.
And I think the very obvious stuff being Paul George. Like, I'm not super enthralled with the contract being $212 million. Like, it's a lot of money. But if you want to win right now, you've got PG, who can still really get you a bucket. Tyrese Maxey, who's young, and in that New York series, he was unreal. Joel Embiid, if healthy, he can get, obviously, he's MVP candidate player.
Mm-hmm.
And then all these other little acquisitions that I love, like they've picked up Andre Drummond. I love Drummond. He's a great rebounder. And look, it could very well be the 70th game in the season, and Embiid needs to rest or he's dead. So we just chuck in Drummond, who can just put his hands up.
8 and 20.
Exactly right. I would say 4 and 24 or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's great as well.
He's got himself in fantasy.
Yeah, he does. And then they've picked up Caleb Martin, which is
I think
unreal.
that's honestly, that unlocked everything for me.
Yeah.
Because I was like, when PG went, I was like, sure, great pick. No mindset, though. PG, Embiid, hate the moment.
Yes, they do.
Tyrese loves the moment.
Yeah.
But Tyrese too smart to be like, okay, I have to obviously give it to Paul George and Embiid.
Yeah.
Caleb Martin, I actually think him at the 4 is like gorgeous. That is
gorgeous.
chef's
You
kiss.
like it, yeah.
Coming from Miami, coming from a team where he maybe there was more spirit in the team, but nowhere near the talent.
Yeah.
He'll just be the problem solver.
Yeah, and hopefully he can just play 3-and-D, corner 3-pointers, and just like have a bit of dog in him and put it into the team.
Yeah.
4 years, $32 million, which is, I would say, almost a steal.
No shit.
Like, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's really
That's
good.
really good value or bang for buck. I was also seeing the other like trades they've done. I didn't know that they picked up Eric Gordon.
Yeah.
That's like 1 year.
That kind of just happened.
Yeah, 1 year, $3 million. Like any FIBA representing player, representing the Bahamas, represent. I think like all these little players that are just like artillery, just in case something goes wrong. We've got a rotation. We've got something that can get you a 3-pointer or get you 6 points.
Yeah.
Or get you out of a rut. You know what I mean? Like Eric Gordon's ready to shoot. Caleb Martin's ready to shoot. So I think that the 76ers definitely won the offseason. Also, they picked up Kelly Oubre Jr. again.
Yeah. Yeah, I think to do the like for like we did with the Mavs, Bamba out, Drummond in. I think that's a marginal increase, but like maybe like a floor raiser, like definite floor raiser.
Yeah.
In that role, D'Anthony Melton, I think that hurts. I also think the Buddy. I
Yeah.
think the Buddy Hield ones. I think he was just like one and done in Philly.
You got rid of one Bahamas boy being healed, and you got in another Bahamas boy being Eric Gordon. So
EG.
that's easy peasy.
Yeah, and then Paul George probably slides into the Buddy Hield role. I know who I'm picking there.
Yeah, sure.
And
sure.
then who did I say? D'Anthony Melton. I feel like Caleb Martin, in terms of what role he'll provide to the team, on a different position.
Yeah.
I think that's an upgrade. Oh, fuck, actually, that's a tough one. I rather love Melton.
I like Melton too. I love Melton too. Yeah, it's that's a loss for the team, but these acquisitions are so positive.
Yeah.
I think it's unbelievable, and I think they're really teeing up to we have to beat Boston.
Yeah.
If we want to play finals.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they're kind of gearing up for.
Yeah. I think are you Team Woj or Team Shams?
Woj.
Got to be Woj.
Woj is just so professional. Not that Shams is not. It's just like he's there. He's been there since we were like 10.
Yeah. I think that's part of it.
And he's just the GOAT.
Yeah,
really.
It's a my generation, your generation sort of
Woj
thing.
bomb or Shams bomb? That's not a thing. It's a Woj bomb.
I think it was Woj that tweeted. He was like, he mentioned a tweet where Caleb Martin, as you said, coming up against the Celtics, averaged 13 points in the playoffs against the Celtics on 44% from three or something. And I feel like those numbers sound good, but if you read into him, it's probably like 4 of 9 from three or something, or whatever. 8 of 18.
You're playing one of the best defensive teams in the league.
Yeah, so there's a bit of variance in there. Yeah. But it has to count for something.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you reckon is there a realistic world in which the 76ers come out of the East, or do you reckon the Celtics are just too far ahead?
I think if you're playing in a perfect world and there's no injuries, I think the Celtics just win for the next maybe year or two. Like if they can keep Tatum and Brown and even Kristaps, who is unbelievable coming off the bench. Like it's Kristaps versus a 6'8" dude, and Kristaps just goes over the head and just drains buckets.
Yeah.
I think if they can keep this contingency with what's the bold name? I forget his name. Murray?
Which, the guard?
The guard?
White,
sorry.
Yeah.
Derek White?
Yeah.
Derek White, like, it's unbelievable. Like, I think they just win for the next 2 years, unfortunately.
Yeah.
If there is injuries, which could very much happen, I think the 76ers can be right there. Be second.
Yeah, I think what you said, bringing in Drummond, you're not happy starting him, but if you're starting him for 20 games, that's fine.
Yeah, give Embiid a rest.
You can manage his health going into the playoffs. Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't have fucking Bell's palsy.
That was...
What the hell?
Did you see that live? Like, it was
so
scary.
sad.
Scary. Like, his eyes was not blinking.
Couldn't shut, and then the team was like, we don't want to release anything. It's like, what are you hiding?
We see him. He's dying on the court.
But
get him back out there.
He's got no moisture in one of his eyeballs.
Spit in his eye or something.
He couldn't cry if he
wanted. Help him. That's funny.
But yeah, I think that's part of all these like acquisitions, bringing in a star like PG, is that like hopefully Embiid can just be healthy for a playoff run, because he never has been. At this point, it's just like,
it's a joke.
And like,
it happens every year.
It happens every year. There's got to be, some players are just bound to being
injury prone.
But some organizations are able to get their guys ready in the playoffs. Yeah. And, you have to be one of those organizations if you have Joel Embiid.
And aren't you a little bit, like, with that statement, aren't you a bit fearful that Paul George is coming in and he is quite injury prone? Like, you've seen horrific injuries happen, and like, he hasn't been able to play his whole time at the Clippers, although he could play more than Kawhi. But yeah, I hope that they get things going for them.
My sleeper winner for the playoffs.
Oh, please.
So, okay, let's go through some grades, and this can just be loose. You can give
loosey gooseys.
I'll give you plus or minus a plus or a plus or minus.
Sure.
So the Sixers, what are you feeling there?
76ers?
Yeah.
100%.
36ers, bro.
76. Sorry, NBL guy here. 76ers plus. You win to me the offseason.
So A? Would you go A?
A.
Would you go A plus?
A plus.
Would you go A? Okay.
A plus. They win.
Damn. Okay. Yeah. The Mavericks.
It's so average. Like, it's fine. Like Clay, it's so... like I'm biased. I love Dallas, but I'm also very protective. Like I'm just worried.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm just very worried.
Yeah,
So
that's the life of being a sports fan.
I think it's like a C plus B minus.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I'd go A minus for the 76ers.
Okay, yeah,
but I was going to say B minus for the Mavs.
Yep.
Who else did we go through? I feel like we went through the Kings.
Yes. Yep.
What do we reckon?
I'm pretty unfazed. Like, I do like DeMar. I think it's cool. And that's been my major focus point. Like, retaining Malik Monk is fantastic. He played brilliant. Like, he could be a sixth man of the year. He wasn't he? Who was
Malik
sixth man?
Monk. Fuck, I can't remember. Wait, this most previous season?
Yeah.
Oh, potentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think he could be that kind of role again.
Yeah.
I would say a B.
Okay, I'd go C plus for the Kings.
Yeah.
Can
Can I ask you one actually?
Yeah.
And I want you to say your grade first,
Okay.
and then I will rebuttal.
Yeah.
The New York Knicks,
Oh, dude.
whom I have such an infatuation for.
The New York
I
Knicks.
am a Knickerbocker forever.
I
They
need
would be
to
my
see
second
this.
team for
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. I need to see this on paper. Yeah, no, this is looking pretty good. This is looking really good. Isaiah Hartenstein, I'm heartbroken for them.
Yes.
But
But get your money.
get your money. Mitch Robb versus Isaiah Hartenstein. I'm taking Isaiah Hartenstein 100 times out of 100. I am.
Okay. Yeah.
I would say B plus. I would say A minus.
A minus.
Yeah.
For OJ Anunoby. Anunoby coming back on.
Yeah, Mikal Bridges.
Mikal Bridges is cool. But yes, continue. Yep. So.
But who are you losing? I'm only saying it as losing iHeart.
Yeah.
If you're bringing in Mikal, that makes up for
But
Boyan and Burks, and then Shake Milton just wasn't playing.
my point would be the error is not in necessarily who they're losing. It might be the error in what they're gaining or what potentially they might be gaining. So this is what the Knicks receive for the Mikal Bridges sign on. Sorry. So they get Mikal Bridges, they get Keita Bates Diop, the 2026 second round pick, and draft rights to Juan Pablo Volet. I don't know who that man is. Hopefully he's great. The Nets receive Bojan Bogdanovic, sure, whatever. Mohamedi Diakate, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Shake Milton, we like Shake. He's
Yeah.
cool. Unprotected first round pick 2025. Unprotected first round pick 2027. Unprotected first round pick 2029. Unprotected first round
I
pick
didn't know it was
2031. Unprotected pick swap in 2028. Top 4 protected 2025 first round pick via the Bucks. Second round pick in 2025.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You can see that there.
You've got extra notes. Oh, I see. Yeah, I
It's
see
a
what
lot.
you're saying.
That is
You gave him a C plus here.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
And that's probably a bit too high.
You reckon?
For Mikal Bridges,
Their window's open though.
their window's open, but Julius Randle comes back in.
They got to ship him off.
You have to get rid of him.
Yeah.
I don't... Like, they played so well without him.
Yeah.
I don't know what you get for him. Hopefully it's some picks. You've given 4 or 5 picks, unprotected first rounders. 2025 is not that far away. 2027 is not that far away.
Yeah, but 2025 they have this team. The
And you
pick's
have a
gonna
chip
be
already.
26.
Hopefully.
Yeah, and then 27 the pick will be 22.
I think you got to think about is like, are we going to beat whoever's in our conference? Are we going to beat the Boston Celtics?
But I think they're stubborn enough to think they can. Like Tibbs is the coach, Brunson is the point guard. You know, I feel like there's like the mood of this team is like we can.
So
we can do it.
OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, who's the better player?
Oh, great question. Great question. I think I like OG's versatility defensively a bit more, and he's a bit bulkier.
Sure.
But there's also this side of me that's like, you know, player X v player Y. I've started leaning towards the person that has more responsibility.
Okay.
And I think Mikal has had more responsibility
Sure.
in a few different scenarios
Sure.
now. So I would say Mikal.
I think they're very similar. I think OG is definitely more of a defensive anchor, a bigger body, can probably slide his feet and get in front of these big power forwards that you might see. And he played quite well for New York. Like, I really liked his run and his hustle, and it seemed like the New York crowd really got behind him. I think they're very much the similar player. I didn't really understand the acquisition. Like, I get, like, Brunson, Jay Hart, Bridges all playing together in college. Like, that's good camaraderie and it's good chem, and they don't really get injured. Like, they play for a long time, and Tibbs loves running plays until they die. Rip Derrick Rose. So I don't know about it. I wasn't enthralled, and I am a New York fan, and seeing and listing what they had to give for essentially Mikal Bridges is a lot.
Yeah, true. I get what you're saying there.
Is a lot. Like, all these unprotected picks that just disappear to potentially become third, fourth in the conference. That doesn't seem really worthwhile. And you've got Julius Randle coming back. So what's your starting lineup? Mitch Robertson, Julius Randle, Mikal Bridges, OJ Anunoby, Brunson. That's pretty good.
All right, well, Wizards pick 26, Kaishawn George.
Who's that man?
Do you want 4 Kaishawn Georges on the Knicks and no Mikal Bridges, or 1 Mikal Bridges and no 4 Kaishawn Georges? Right now.
Look, picks to me are very valuable.
Yeah, right.
I'm a Sam Presti. I love picks. I want to hoard those picks. I don't know. I think, and you also probably have to think about it like as a financial idea, like trying to get the best team possible, which I see that what they're doing is such smart business. Like, New York Knicks are one of the most profitable organizations in the NBA, and there's a reason for that, just because of the demographic and the place that you are. So it is probably important to get a good team, but I don't like the trade.
Okay, that's fair. Final note: two-way wings. This is just like, you know, people are losing their minds over them. How many two-way wings are better than OG and Mikal Bridges? They'd probably both be in the top 20. And now you got 2 of them on the same team. Where a lot of teams don't have one of those players.
Okay, look, that's a good perspective. Two-way wings.
You got JB, JT,
and they're on the same team.
Kawhi and PG had them on the same team.
Yeah, that's true.
They could just never stay on the court together. And then every other great team has one.
One, yeah.
Whoever,
it's a good point. It's a good point, but there's one basketball. They can only touch it so much. Although OG and Mikal don't necessarily need the basketball at all times.
Yeah, Mikal made it to a finals playing that role.
Yeah,
not touching the ball.
And Jalen's going to touch the ball. And that's a fair point. And maybe that does become worthwhile. But if Randall's back in the picture, that boy wants the basketball. He wants to play pretty gross basketball. He wants to like back you down and maybe take a 3-pointer that he'll miss. So I guess it's all kind of determined on if Jay Randall comes back and what he does.
What he commands.
Yeah.
All right. The last team I was going to bring up, just to bring up my sleeper win for the...
Yeah, please.
For the free agency.
Yeah.
Which is still on, by the way. Fucking Utah Jazz were shipping around Walker Kessler today.
Yeah, I thought that was insane.
Why now?
But I think
why not before free agency?
Before like drafts.
Yeah.
Yeah, try and get like a top 10 pick.
Yeah.
Anyway, is what it is.
So I'm glad, Sean, if he's stuck around, and listen, if you stuck around, thank you so much. I feel like we've been killing it. We're 2 minutes away from 69 minutes.
Wow.
No, we're not. 79 minutes. My sleeper win, and I'd give them a B+, would be the Golden State Warriors.
Okay.
I think Clay was done in Golden State. I think it's kind of... They said that they were going to retire his 11, which I think also just means he's never coming back. I think that's what that also
Please don't
means.
come back.
Yeah.
Please don't come back.
He's out. Kyle Anderson, Buddy Hield, Anthony Melton.
Slow-mo.
All come in. And I think in terms of situation, I think all 3 of them could be better than Clay in Golden State.
Yeah, I think I hadn't really given it much thought, but now that I'm seeing it like pen to paper here, like Buddy Hield, great. I mean, is he not just going to switch perfectly for Klay Thompson? He's just going to be 3-and-D guy, hopefully, and run around and be that splash brother again. Carl Anderson, we love slow-mo. Maybe he could be an offensive Draymond Green, kind of. Maybe not the defensive stalwart that what Draymond is, but maybe he can offer some offense. DeAnthony Melton, we love that. He's a great little baller. Lindy Waters, I don't know who that is.
Yeah. we can cut out Lindy Waters. But I think that there's like the kumbaya, the laissez-faire attitude of the Warriors that Buddy Hield will like thrive in. I feel like with Philadelphia, there's always pressures. Like that team is just like, so long as you're not Embiid, you are on the chopping block.
Yeah,
and like Nick Nurse doesn't inspire as a player. If I'm like shooting 7 shots, I better be hitting 4 of them.
Championship coach though.
Championship coach. That's true. But with Steve Kerr, it's like shoot 15 shots a game for 20 games.
Yeah.
And then maybe if you're shooting like 20%, then maybe we'll dial it back a bit. But like you have rain to just rain.
Yeah. Well, what do you think their ceiling is in the West next season? Stacked.
In the West next season, healthy Draymond.
Wiggins.
Points is still hard to come by with this team. I think Buddy brings in some shooting.
Yeah, definitely.
Kyle Anderson, I can see him in that like mid-range short area.
Yeah, 8 to 12 points maybe.
Yeah, but I think you want another real bucket getter.
I think it's Buddy, right? Like he's going to get you the buckets.
Yeah.
Other than maybe Wiggins.
He is hoping. I mean, there's a part of me that really hates the Warriors, but then there's a part of me that also really loves them.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
like I don't want to say they couldn't win the ring. But I don't think that they will. But there is a world where I want to see like, what if they make the playoffs and Draymond's just killing it defensively and Steph's on a heater, and Buddy Hield is Bahama Buddy.
Bahama Buddy. Yeah, we love that.
There's a part of me that wants them to win one more ring.
Yeah, no, and I see that. Like great players like Steph Curry, who's kind of just owned the whole NBA for the last 9 years.
Yeah.
Look, I didn't think Dallas would bloody make the finals. Like,
things
can happen.
Things happen.
Things can happen. If you get in that top 10 spot and you get to play in the play-in, people get injured. You saw in the whole of the East, like every team that the Celtics unfortunately faced, even though I thought they were better than each team, like their star players or marquee players were getting injured or just weren't there. Like, it's a different story with Miami and Boston. Jimmy Butler's there. Maybe he can win 2 games. Maybe he can win 3.
Yeah.
So you never know. You
never know.
Get in the race. Maybe Curry can hit 50 a game for each game.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Splash Brothers.
Yeah. I think that's a nice note to end on.
Definitely.
Things happen.
Things happen.
You never know what could happen in the NBA.
That's it.
Listener, James, thank you for this double episode. We'll be speaking again in 2 weeks' time, so we'll have a whole new list of Daniel Theis destinations to go through.
Lovely.
All right. See ya.
Bye.